improving our conversations. It's time for us to get our lesson started. Thanks everyone for joining me here in the Hangout. If you haven't done so, come on into the Hangout and we'll get you participating in our conversation for today. All right, I'd like to welcome Harry. Hello, Harry. Welcome to class. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm fine.
Good, good. It's great to have you here, Harry. So, Harry, please tell me a bit more about yourself. Please introduce yourself.
I'm from Germany and I'm new to this learning system. I'm a new member of this system.
Okay, well, welcome to Verbaling. How did you find out about Verbaling?
I Googled over Google.
Okay, so tell me what caught your attention? What caught your attention about the Verbaling? Excuse me one second, Harry. I'm sorry, give me one second.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Hi, Vincenzo.
Yes, we are only two of us in this class. Oh, no. Huh?
For the
Well,
moment.
I can, yes, I didn't hear you. So it was something strange. There was
Yeah.
such a silence.
Yes. No,
No?
no, 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 no. No, I'm sorry. I have some friends that are coming into town and they're here, but they got a little bit lost, so I needed to take a phone call. Sorry about that.
Ah, okay.
Okay. All right, very good. Okay, so Harry. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my conversation with you, Harry. Harry, you were saying that you found out about verbaling online. So, what made you choose verbaling? Was there something interesting that you found about verbaling?
Hmm, uh, I think it's not easy to find a system where I can practice my English uh, because I tried another system and it is overloaded. I mean, there are so many members in another systems, and I found that this Burbling, that this is a new one, and there they are not so that they your Burbling is not so famous as example English Town. English Town is very famous,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's too expensive. English Town is too expensive what they offer because you have 30 members or 30 people in one room, and you cannot practice your English in this time in
Mm-hmm.
1 hour.
Mm.
And I think this kind of system, I like it very much because it uses open software like Google accounts, Google Plus, and I think it's more convenient, more usable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Now that's very interesting. All right. Let's get a couple of other thoughts about that. I want to keep this conversation going, and then we'll go ahead and start our topic. All right. Vincenzo, what do you think about that? Do you agree with what Harry is saying, or do you have a different opinion?
No, no, no. Yes, but I agree with the colleague uh, because I have tried the other systems, but yes, there are lots of people, and if there are lots of people, there are systems that are completely automatic. So you can't have a teacher, a real teacher in front of you, but you have one system where you have to answer without a teacher. So they are very impersonal. So, in what I like in Verbing is the possibility to speak because the number of students are in mm, I think the right number, the right number of students. So everyone has a chance to answer and to say something about the topic that they are talking to. Uh, Something that I can't explain very well because it's something that can involve you. I don't know what it is. Uh, when you say right, the thing is right that says fall in love with verbally. There is the possibility, perhaps, uh, uh, to talk to the other students also, no? And this possibility perhaps it's not always possible in other classes or in other system or in other kind of learning teaching in the internet. Yes. Uh,
Okay. So you
there are
you you
also
make
excuse me, there are also a lot of teacher. You can choose your teacher. Perhaps I must say that everyone has his come si dice, choice. Perhaps one teacher can be good for one student, another can't be good for another student. Yes, and, I think that's generally could happen in this way. You know, some teacher are nice. Can I say nice? You know, or
yes, you can say nice.
I can't explain because everyone has his taste. No, I'm gonna say taste. No, yes, yeah, prefer some teacher instead of others. Yes, and this is another opportunity in verbally because this is possible. That is possible. Yes.
Okay. All right. Very
Excuse me, you can choose also the topic that you want to study, to learn. There are a lot of topics. That's another good possibility in Berlin that perhaps, I don't know if it's possible in other systems. Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, good. Well, guys, thank you for your interesting discussion so far about verbaling. All right. And actually, I kind of like to get maybe one or two thoughts, and then we'll go ahead and move on.
Mm.
Carolina, what do you think about what your classmates are saying about verbaling? What has been your experience so far?
Hi, Carissa. So far, it's very good experience. I am
Uh,
starting.
I'm
I I agree.
I'm sorry, Carolina. Your voice is
Yes.
very low. Can you turn up the volume on your
And
microphone?
now, are you listening?
It's a
Yes.
little bit better. If you could turn it up even more, that'd be great.
Okay,
Okay, that's better.
better.
Yeah, that's better.
I am starting, but I agree with my colleagues because on Verbalin I can choose my classes, my teachers, the topics. I watch when I have time. It's very useful. I like the chance to speak with many people because I don't have who I don't have with who I want to talk here. So it's it's been a great experience for me so far.
Okay, excellent. Very good. All right, let's welcome your other classmates. Let's welcome Carmen. Carmen, tell us about your experience here at Verbaling. How did you find Verbaling?
Hi, Carissa. Well, I was actually looking for some website in which I could talk to people, like practicing my speaking, and I found it that way. It was, I mean, someone wrote a review or something like that, and then I found it.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. So, what have you thought about the program so far? Have you been satisfied?
I think so, yeah, I think so. It is a very fun and you actually get the opportunity to talk and meet people from everywhere. And also you have many different kind of lessons you can choose if you like more writing or you need to polish your pronunciation. It is, I mean, I recommend it to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. I'm sorry. Let me just check. Okay. Yeah. Very good. We're getting some really interesting comments here. All right. Let's hear from David. David, how did you find out about Verbaling? Okay, I think maybe David may have stepped away just for a second. Arthur, welcome to class. How are you doing today, Arthur?
I'm fine. Thank you. I'm fine.
Good. Arthur, so Arthur, how did you find out about Verbaling?
Mm. Well, I actually can't remember that. Probably I just
Okay.
Googled it or something like that. I didn't pay attention to that. I just started and liked it.
Okay, so you just started it and liked it. Now, how long have you been taking classes here at Verbaling?
About 3 weeks, or almost 1 month, I think. Yeah, 4 weeks.
About a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think of it so far?
Well, it's a great thing to practice speaking, but I think there are some more ways for improvement. For example, a kind of grading system or some achievements. I don't see my progress. So probably if it is writing or pronunciation task, I would like to get some figures. I would like to say so. Because, for example, there are different levels, like advanced, intermediate, beginners, and sometimes students from beginners enter into the advanced class and they could barely speak. That stops the whole process.
Right.
And I don't see any way for Verbaling to improve that at the moment, to fix that.
All
Yeah,
right.
I agree with that. Yeah.
That you've had that happen as well?
Yeah, because not for, I mean, it depends on the kind of lesson, but certain lessons is very difficult to have a good rhythm with people who are not in the same level. So these three levels over here, like beginner and intermediate and advanced, are very are not very specific, or maybe they could include like a test kind of a thing at the beginning, so you are located in a certain level. Otherwise, for some lessons, it's really, I mean, it is a pain kind of a thing.
Okay. All right, very good. Now that's some valuable feedback. So maybe we as teachers, because we develop our own lessons, we can come up with some ways to do like a check and balance kind of thing. We can do some different activities where you can check your progress. Now sometimes we may not be aware of how much we are progressing until someone mentions it. And actually that happened in my last class. One student told another, you know, a month ago you were barely able to form a sentence, but now you're holding meaningful conversations in English.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting that one student said that to another. All right, so that's also another way that you can check your progress. All right, well,
Yes,
you know, thank you.
excuse me, it's my dog. It also depends from the teacher, no, in order to give the word to one student or another, no, because I think the teacher could understand, yes, understand which student is in a level, or it's in intermediate level, or or is in a beginner level. At the first glance, I think, no? What do you think about? Yes, so it depends on the teacher in order to give the word to one student or another, no? It's possible that in a class you can find a class, for example, of beginner, you can find the intermediate and advanced student. But in this case, I think the teacher could select, no? The people in order to give the word, give the possibility to talk or not. Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, everyone, thank you for sharing your opinions. We do listen to your feedback, and hopefully we can get some of those issues addressed very soon. All right, very good. Well, let's take a look at our topic for today. Okay, today we're going to talk about how we can improve our conversations by adding either a simile or a metaphor to our comments. Okay, so that's our goal for this hour. What I do like so far is that you are expressing your thoughts and opinions in English very clearly, and I'm really excited about that. All right, so let's go ahead and get focused. Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share. All right, Ahmad, welcome to class. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing today, Ahmad?
Hi, how are you, Carissa?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Thank you. Doing good. Great to have you back with us.
Thank you.
All right, and you're just in time because we were just getting ready to get into the material for our lesson today.
Good.
All right, very good. Okay, so today we're going to talk about similes. First of all, we're going to start off, I'm just going to make things a little bit bigger, talking about what actually a simile is, okay? And surely you've had experiences using similes in your own languages, okay? But now we're going to talk about how to do that. We're going to do that in English. All right, very good. Let's go back up to the top here. All right, and I'm going to show you an example of a simile. All right, so here's one example. She's as fierce as a tiger. Now that's a simile. Okay, now we're comparing two things that are similar. All right, what are those two things? Let's see, Harry. Harry, can you tell me the two things that we're comparing that are similar in this sentence? In the first sentence, she's as fierce as a tiger. What two things are we comparing?
I don't know what fierce means.
Okay, so who can help us out? What does fierce mean? Okay, now I'm going to give you a link here in the chat. Okay, whenever you have a situation like this, okay, pull up your online dictionary quickly. Okay, I use one that's called learnersdictionary.com. Okay, so do a quick search and then tell me what fierce is.
Carissa, I've heard that word a lot in a TV show in US. Is Tyra Banks. I don't know if you have ever seen it. Do you know what
Say,
show is that?
tell me the title of it again.
It is American Next Top Model or something like that.
Ah, yes,
And
yes, yes. Uh-huh.
the host is Tyra Banks, and she's all the time saying that word. Like if there is no other adjective in English, only that one.
Okay. All right, well, let's find out why she uses that word. Okay, who can tell me? Who has found a definition for fierce? What is fierce?
Like a top model. Feels like a top model.
I don't know the exact definition, but it's wild and severe or cruel, something like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, those are some. Now, I don't think that Tyra Banks means that it's, okay, maybe those two words, okay, but let's, those are two meanings, that's true. Did anyone else find anything else?
Yes, very violent, eager to fight or kill, having or showing a lot of strong emotions, very strong or intense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, very good.
Very harsh or powerful.
Okay, harsh or powerful. Good. We got some good definitions here. I'm sorry, there was one more?
Perhaps will be a person more confident in himself. Not fierce, yes.
Okay, yes. So confident. Okay, so something that we could also say is bold, and I think that's what Tyra Banks means. So when she talks about fashion, she's talking about something that's not of the norm, something that is out of the box, something that is different, and something that has a lot of attitude. It's very bold. Okay, something that's very bold. Okay, so for example, okay, so let me go back. I was talking to Harry. Okay, so Harry, what two things are being compared in the first sentence? She's as fierce as a tiger.
They compare fierce and tiger, these two words together.
Okay, now tiger is one. Okay, now we're talking about nouns. Okay, wow. Tiger is being... What is being compared to a tiger?
She.
All right, so when we talk about she, what are we talking about?
A woman. This is a woman and...
A woman, that's it. Okay, so here we're comparing... There you go. All right, so we're comparing a woman and a tiger. All right, what do these two things have in common?
Character or behavior.
Character. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Tatiana, yes?
You see, now it's some association came up my mind. For example, when tiger go for hunting, he's pouncing, his prey, yes? Maybe this woman, just like a tiger, pounds some other people, some other person. For example, on a meeting, for example, this situation on a meeting, one person says something, and this woman didn't like it, and after meeting, she pounced this person.
This is another characteristic. This is another characteristic.
Because she's fierce as a tiger.
Okay. That's good. That's good, Tatiana. I'm gonna stop you there. Okay. Now that is one characteristic. You're right. Okay. So tigers do pounce on their prey. All right. Now that gives you a vivid mental picture. Now I don't know about anyone else, but I immediately visualized a tiger jumping on top of its prey. That's what I saw in my mind. All right. Now you can take that literally. Okay. There are some women who are fierce in that way. If they don't like something about you, they literally jump on you and they hit you, or they scratch you, or they get you together. All right. Now
you think about the image of a tiger, the fierce, the image in the fierce in the image of the tiger.
Okay, so
it's like violent.
Not a tiger that jumps. No.
Okay, so but that's one way that you can use it. Okay, so let me just stop there. Okay, that's one way that you can use it, depending
Yeah.
upon what you
Have
mean.
it.
So that can be one way. Now let's go back. Okay, let's go back.
Yes.
Let's talk about someone mentioned appearance. Okay, I think someone
Yes.
else
Yes.
mentioned that Tyra Banks is always saying that America's
Yeah.
Top Models, the women are
Yes.
fierce. Okay,
Fierce.
now let's talk about appearance. Okay,
Appeal.
what does a woman and a tiger have in common when we talk about appearance?
Both are extremely attractive to people for some reason.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's great.
the sexy girl is attractive, but it is not fierce.
All right,
Sexy
so
girl.
extremely. Okay, now remember remember this is a family show. Okay, so family show. Okay, so extremely attractive. That's true. Okay,
Attractive.
so do we find that tigers are they elegant? Are they elegant creatures?
Is attractive as a tiger?
Okay, so maybe they're elegant. When you look at a tiger,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Probably,
It's
let's say, like agile.
agile. Okay,
So,
all
yeah,
right,
the way of
good.
moving, Yeah.
Okay,
Quick. Yeah.
agility and quickness. Say that, for example, a woman who is a runner in track and field. Okay, we could say that she's instead of saying fierce, maybe we could say what verb could we use instead of fierce?
Eh, it's very
Maybe agile, like Ahmad
agile.
mentioned, she's
Yeah.
as agile as a tiger, or she's as quick as a tiger.
As
Uh-huh.
quick as well.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Okay, good. Okay, so good. So we're talking about different characteristics of a
Yes.
tiger.
There is an
Let,
animal that go very fast. No, I don't know what is it. Uh, uh, what is an animal that go very fast, that run very fast? uh,
uh-huh, good.
uh,
Yeah, you could change the animal, yeah, okay, if
yes,
you want
yes.
it. Okay, if you were talking about agility. Okay, so let me stop you there. I'm gonna write down the word fast. I'm gonna write that down and we're gonna come back to it. All right, I want to just finish out talking about our tiger. Now,
Like,
someone else mentioned character. All right, now let's talk about a female lawyer, for example. Okay, in what way could we use this when we're speaking about a female lawyer? She's as fierce as a tiger. How would that apply to a lawyer? Okay, think about the courtroom. Think about your female lawyer as she questions maybe a suspect.
Aggressive
Okay,
in the way
okay,
of
she could
like
be.
defeating,
Okay, you could say aggressive. Okay, she could be aggressive. Now that's one thing to be aggressive. All right. Now there is this another thing to be assertive. Okay,
as
so
talkative. Uh, talkative.
okay, okay, talkative. Maybe in a different setting, but here, okay, the idea of I think is what Tatiana mentioned about pouncing on prey. So maybe you have a difficult witness who is trying to hide the truth. All right,
Ah,
whenever you watch American shows, like crime shows, where there's a court scene, sometimes the lawyers have to be fierce in order to get the witness to tell the truth or to get to the bottom of the investigation. Maybe you can think of Law and Order, if you've ever watched that show. And one of the lead characters, the lead detective,
yes.
I would describe her as being as fierce as a tiger.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right.
Carissa,
Mhm.
there is a word that comes to my mind, but I'm not sure about the meaning because I've heard of it in different contexts, which is intense. So when someone is saying that a girl or a woman is intense, what does that actually mean?
Okay. You know, that's a very good question. Okay, intense, of course, could apply to colors. Okay, so it's not a weak color, but it would be a very vibrant color. Okay, now the same idea applies to personality. Okay, there's some people that are a bit shallow. All right, they don't really have deep, meaningful conversations. They just like to talk about the surface things. All right, that would not be an intense person, but someone who is always talking about the deeper things of life. They're always trying to find some
Yeah.
meaning behind a statement or behind an event. That person can be described as intense. Or it could also refer to someone who they are a bit over the top. Okay, so instead of reacting to something in a what we would consider a normal or an acceptable way, they have a very extreme way of responding or behaving. Okay, so in that way, we could say, wow, that person is really intense.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I've
Uh-huh.
heard in a negative, with negative connotations, as well with positive connotations, and then I was, but now you have explained it, is completely clear to me.
Okay, good. Yeah, so it just depends on like your context, but very good. All right, let's talk a little bit about there was one more thing. Um, okay, all right, very good. So now we know that basically with our similes, we're going to take two things that are similar in some way. All right, now here's the language that you're going to use. All right, in our examples, you see as fierce as. Okay, so that's one way you could say it. Okay, in the second example, I'm moving as slow as a turtle.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh-huh. We all know that turtles move rather slowly. All right. Now, here's a question for you. Okay, think about your country and your culture. Think about where you are. What is something that moves slowly besides the turtle? Can you think of something in your culture in your country that moves very slowly?
Snail.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right. So we instead of saying as slow as a turtle, you could say as slow as a snail. All right. Anything else?
Yes. It could be as slow as ¿cómo se dice? Una hormiga. Hey,
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. As slow as a.
I don't remember the name of a little insect, little animal that is formica. No? In Italiano formica, but I don't know in English.
Or,
I don't
or
know. Uh,
hmm.
An ants, ants.
Ants. Oh,
Ants.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but ant is not slow. Ant is fast.
Yes, answer
Yes,
fast.
very
Yeah.
How do you pronounce ant or ant?
It depends on where you are and who you're talking to. Some people say as an ant,
Uh,
and some people no, it really is ant because if you say aunt,
uh,
that's different. Okay,
yeah.
but some people do say it that way. It's just you have to just think about your context. Okay,
Mhm.
good. So as slow as a turtle or as slow as a snail.
I
What
was
other
As
things?
slow as the melting snow in the mountains, on top of the mountain.
Okay, so
I,
okay,
I was thinking that you can use this in order to substitute the adjective, no? Adjectives, no? When you don't know an adjective, you have, uh, you can say an adjective. You can use this kind of simile, no? Simile.
Why not?
uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh. Well, it's interesting because this is something additional that you can use. You could actually use both. You could say an adjective. You could say that lawyer is assertive. Okay, you've said it. Okay, that's it. But when you add a simile, Okay, you're adding additional information. You're adding a word picture. Okay,
Yeah.
so it really depends on what your objective is.
Ah.
Okay, so and native speakers, we use similes and metaphors a lot, both in our informal and our formal speech. All right, so it depends. When you want to emphasize a particular characteristic or behavior or quality, this is one tool that you can use. And it actually, you can use this when you want to add a bit of humor to your conversation as well. Okay, so if we all know who this fierce lawyer is, we all know who she is. If I say, oh, you know, Tatiana is as fierce as a tiger, if she is a lawyer, then we all laugh a little because we know that it's true. Okay, so it adds a bit of humor to your conversation. One thing here in Costa Rica that we have are sloths. And sloths tend to move very slow. Okay, so we could say as slow as a sloth. So you can, the benefit of using a simile is that you can take from what you see all around you and make these word pictures. All right, here's another way that you can form a simile. All right, you could also say, for example, you could say that something is like, they are like two peas in a pod. Okay, for example, when you talk about, well, maybe let me ask you, have you heard this expression used to talk about something in particular?
No, teacher, no.
Twins, for example.
Yeah, okay,
When we are
good.
talking
Twins.
about twins, they like two peas in a pod.
That's right. Okay, now when we use this expression, we're talking about two things that are identical or nearly identical.
Yeah.
Or let's say I've heard it in context when we're talking about friends. Okay, there are
Or
times
wife and a husband.
We say they are like. Excuse me, teacher. We say they are like 2 drops of water.
2 drops of water. Okay, I like that.
Yes, in Russian language the same.
So they're like 2 drops of water. Now that's the first time I've heard that. I like that. Okay, does anyone have anything else that's similar when you talk about two things that are identical or nearly so?
Like 2 pairs of shoes. Like pair of shoes, not 2, like pair of shoes.
Pair of shoes.
They're like a pair of shoes. Okay. Okay, very good. Sometimes I've heard it say they're like, I don't know, Mutt and Jeff. I don't know.
What are you saying, teacher?
Mutt and Jeff. I think this comes from a popular cartoon. But two little dogs that are always together, and they act alike. So I've heard that said sometimes. They're like Mutt and Jeff, or
it's a very popular cartoon, no? Very popular.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is dated, so I don't know if it's very popular amongst young people now. I mean, I'm maybe dating myself, but all right. So 2 things that are identical or nearly so. Okay, so husbands and wives, in some situations, friendships, twins. Exactly. All right. Let's talk about something that is very big, and I want to know in your culture what things you compare to that are very big. All right. In English, sometimes we say it's as big as an elephant.
Okay. I don't know, as big as my
mountain, probably.
No, I'm thinking, but I try to find something very popular, not popular, very common. It's big.
A tank.
Okay, it's as big as a tank. All right, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Good, excellent. Okay, so again, I don't know. Sometimes amongst girlfriends, sometimes you know, if you're gaining weight and you may be a bit irritated by it, or you actually mean to be comical about it, you can say, oh my goodness, I'm as big as an elephant. You know, or I've heard that, you know, maybe some people have said as big as a whale.
Yes.
But you want to be careful with this one, especially if you're talking about someone's weight, because you can really be offensive. You could really start a fight, and you can bring out the tiger in
Some
someone.
people
So you,
don't like joke. No, don't like joking. Don't like. Some people
yes,
don't like.
that's true. That's true. If it's something that you're going to say about yourself, that's your personal decision, or if someone that you have the freedom and the liberty to to
Yes.
joke like that with, then it could be okay. All right. Or for example, I saw one day here in Costa Rica, I saw a dog that
Yeah.
was as big as a goat. Like this dog, I think it was a, what do you call it?
Persiano. No. No.
A bull mastiff. I think it was a bull mastiff.
Oh, yes. A bull master. I saw a bull master in our zoo because the owner in a zoo.
Bull master. I don't know what it is.
It was difficult to keep him at
Bull
home.
master.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Yeah.
so try someone do a quick Google. Google it and send us a link so that
Yeah.
you can see how big it is. It's very
Yeah.
big.
It's just like bear. It's the same place where are bears.
Oh my goodness, that is very big.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see the reaction. All right, when you use this type of word picture, it gives people a mental picture and it actually creates conversation. Okay, so this is something that an adjective on its own is a little limited. It can't quite create the same mental picture or word picture as a simile can. All right, very good. Excellent job, guys. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down just a little bit. I think we get the idea. Okay, you want to compare two things that have some kind of characteristic or behavior in common. All right, I have another one here on the board, as busy as a bee. I've also heard as busy as an ant. Ants are
Yeah.
very busy, or as diligent as an ant. Okay, they're very diligent, where she works as hard as an ant. Okay, ants really work hard. They're known for that characteristic. Or if your personality is very calm and collected, I can say that I'm calm and collected. Or I can say I'm as cool as a cucumber. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's-
All right, cucumbers are
Young
pretty
as a
cool.
cucumber. Young as a green cucumber.
There you go. There you go. And you see it really elicits laughter, because it's true. It's something that we can all relate to. You know, this is really good also for public speaking. As I mentioned to my last class, I was at a weekend seminar. It was a 2-day seminar, and one of the many speakers who was very effective at using similes and metaphors, and it caused the same effect every time. Although it was hot where we were, there was no breeze, because the lecture was so interesting and full of similes and metaphors, not overly so, but sufficiently so. It really made us forget about the heat and really concentrate on what was being said. All right, very good. So the next time you listen to a public lecture in English, listen out for effective similes. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about metaphors. All right, here's a couple of metaphors on the screen, and let's read them and see what the difference is. Okay, let's get a volunteer. Let's have David. Are you with us, David? Hi, David. Great to hear your voice. Okay, so David, can you read the metaphors that are on the screen for me? Let me make them a little bit bigger.
He was drawing in paperwork. It's a metaphor in which having to deal with a lot of paperwork can be compared to drowning in an ocean of water.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Her poems include many imaginative metaphors.
Okay, very good. Excellent job. Very, very good. Okay, so here's the difference, okay? Let's see if I can get you to tell me what the difference is, okay? All right, David, do you see the difference between a simile and a metaphor? What difference do you see?
Between what? Carissa?
Yes.
Between what? Sorry.
What's the difference between a simile and a metaphor? What do you see that's different here?
No, actually, I don't know.
Okay, let's get some help here. Okay, who else would like to comment on that? What do you see that's different? Let's see. Let me make a quick. Let me just call on someone. Let's see. Carmen, can you tell me what difference you see here? What difference do you see?
I mean, a simile, a metaphor is when you want to clarify or illustrate something, some idea. So you try to be original and create another image with another elements out of that. And a simile, I think, is just a comparative thing. But when you use a metaphor, maybe you are trying to make the meaning wider. You are trying to clarify or even give more details to it. But I don't know if I'm going in some other way. I don't know if that's what you meant to ask.
Yep, that's exactly what I meant to ask. Okay,
I think
now
that the simile is very simple, while a metaphor is more complex because it's a story. Now you can say also a story for a metaphor. This is not for a simile. It's in a simile you have a simple image in order to make a comparison. No? In this case, you have an action, a person with a paperwork, in order to explain this kind of, let me say, adjective.
Okay, all right. So what two things are similar here? All right, let's take a look at our example here. What is it that's similar here? It looks like it's the experience. All right, so what experience is similar between these two things? What's the experience?
The experience to be submerged with the work. No, yes, it's a sensation. It's a story where there is a people that is overwhelmed with work. Yes.
Okay.
So this can explain the metaphor, can explain the meaning, but you need the story.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So we're talking about an experience. Okay, so it's not just that one thing is just like something else. All right, but now we're going to give you an experience. All right, now this adds something else. Now, again, this is something that people can relate to. All right, if you have the experience of dealing with a lot of paperwork and feeling overwhelmed, feeling that you're never going to reach the end of or get to the end of your paperwork, okay, this is going to elicit a response. Okay, so your listener will say, yes, I know exactly what that's like, and they're going to start telling you about their experience. All right, now that's not the reaction that a simile elicits. Okay, it just gives you a mental picture. All right, it helps you to isolate characteristics or behavior that two things have in common. But this is giving you an experience that you have in common.
Yes. Perhaps I don't know if it is possible to make the same with the simile in this case. No, how can give the same sensation, game feeling with the simile?
Yeah, that's the thing. So one thing is a simile and another thing is a metaphor. You can't make a simile a metaphor. So these are two different tools. Okay, either use a simile or use a metaphor.
Yeah.
All right, so let's try to think of something. All right, think of something in your everyday life. Think of something at work.
Yeah.
Okay, think about something like being in a crowd. All right. let's take a topic. Okay, someone give me an idea. Tell me something from your everyday life that, and let's try to come up with a metaphor. Okay,
Yeah.
who'd like to take a shot at it?
I'm drawing in the traffic. No, see, I am. Can I say
Okay, all right. So a lot of traffic. Okay, let's say.
yes, drawing like in this case. No, I am drawing in the traffic. Yes, I was drawing in
Okay.
traffic. I was suffocated. Suffocated.
Okay.
No, I was.
Okay. Let's talk about that experience. Okay, let's isolate an experience. Okay, so what do you usually feel? What's the experience? What do you feel when you're in traffic? Maybe you're tired from work and there's an accident on a freeway and there's just a lot of traffic. What's the feeling? What's the experience that you have there?
Experiences that we are
Okay,
in a
now
hurry. That we are in a hurry. That we can go on. We can continue in order with our car in order to drive. We can
all
drive.
right.
Can drive.
So,
So
all
we
right,
are
being stuck in traffic. Okay, Vincent.
stuck.
Okay, good. Great, Vincenzo. I'm going to give your classmates an opportunity to answer as well. All right, Tatiana, what's another feeling or emotion you have when there's a lot of traffic?
Traffic. The first thing I think, where are going all the people? Where are they going?
Okay,
For me,
so
I have aim, I have job, I know where I'm going, but where are other people going?
Yeah, like
And you know, when you drive the car, you think that the people who drive slowly, they are idiots, and when people drive faster, they are maniacs.
they are like robots. Robots.
okay, all right. So maybe you could say like traveling. Um, okay, let's say so like getting home today was as challenging as or was like finding your way through a maze. Because when you're coming through traffic, the experience that you have is that you can't go straight. You can't go at your normal pace. So you have to get into another lane. You go for a little bit, then you zigzag back into another lane. All right. So it was as challenging, or it was like finding your way through a maze. All right. That's the experience. Okay. Working my way through traffic today was like finding my way through a maze. All right, there's your word picture. Okay, so here's the idea. You can make more direct comparisons, one thing to another, by using a simile. All right, you can also use a word or phrase for one thing that's used to refer to another, or to suggest that there's something in common or similar. All right, it's a bit more indirect. All right, but here you get to compare experiences here. All right, so here's your homework. Your homework is to, try to use an adjective to describe an experience, or to describe or compare two things. Try to use an adjective. All right, then after that, challenge yourself by using a simile. All right, use a simile. Use words like this is like that, or as blank as this other thing. All right, now then challenge yourself further by using a metaphor. Okay, try to do that. And then in your classes here at Verbaling, when you express yourself, try it out. Okay, and the benefit is that you'll have the teachers, you can ask the teacher, look, I'm working on my similes today, or I'm working on my metaphors. What do you think? How did I do? Okay. All right, so try those things out. All right, well, that's the end of our lesson for today. Thanks for coming into class. Thanks for sharing your ideas and participating. A little bit later on, I've got 2 other classes coming up, so look out for those classes on your Verbaling website. Again, today my focus is helping you to improve your conversation. All right. Also, you can take a private lesson with me. Just go on the Verbaling website and book it. Otherwise, thanks for being here in class, everyone, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye, teacher. Night,
You're
teacher.
welcome.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank
Oh, God. I need to go find people. Where are y'all at?